What is up, people? What is up? How are you doing today? First off, I want to know if you can hear me because I know plenty of times recently, for some reason, you guys are having a hard time hearing me. So let's just hope that that's working. Okay. I appreciate everybody that tuned in to the live stream, the gaming live stream. That was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, my camera wasn't on until the tail end of it because I guess PlayStation still has to kind of fix that, so I don't know what's going on with that. What's up, Big Fort Canister? I'm actually driving home, or well, to my parents' house for Thanksgiving. I'm running a little late. Been a lot of weird stuff, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And I do want to talk to you guys about like just some things that I've been thinking about when it comes to the San Antonio Spurs. I put up, and I know a lot of you guys also follow Order on the Court. So, hey, happy birthday! I say happy birthday. Oh my God, happy Thanksgiving, rude. But I know a lot of you guys follow Order on the Court and Order on the Court podcast as well. And I was talking on the last podcast that I did that got uploaded today. I was talking about the Spurs defense, and I have to say, man, the more I think about it, the more I get kind of excited for it. The only thing that's frustrating about the Spurs going forward is not having the guy and not knowing, just the unknown of who's going to be the guy. Like, I think a lot of people wanted DeJounte Murray to eventually be that. I just don't think DeJounte Murray will be that. Does he have the ability? Maybe. But I just don't see that. I think out of everybody as far as talent-wise, I feel like Lonnie Walker has the best opportunity to be that guy. He's shown already, that he can take over a game, but he would just have to be that consistently. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Hassan Whiteside just signed with the Kings. Man, there's been some really weird signings lately. There's been some really weird signings. Like just like how I wanted Gordon Hayward. What's up, Hoop Lights? What's up, Triple J Sports? But yeah, it's been some really weird signings lately, right? Oh, by the way, I want to tell you guys that I recorded a song. And it's called Tim Duncan. And it's basically just me rapping with a chorus that's related to Tim Duncan. It just says Tim Duncan. And I hope you like it. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of time to make it, so I wrote it in like a day and recorded it like the next day, and I didn't really get a chance to go over it and like really flesh it out, like really make it sound like way better. But it is made, and I said screw it. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'll just make I guess a lyric video for it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I could just have like Tim Duncan clips playing over it and then put the lyrics in the comment section or something. I don't know. What do you guys think? How do you think I should go about that? How do you think I should go about that? Should I make a lyric video for it, or you think I should just upload? I mean, a lyric video gonna take a minute to make, or do you think I should just go ahead and post like just some like Tim Duncan highlights and just have that loop or something while the song is going? Like, what do you think? I don't know. I actually do want feedback on this, if you guys can give me feedback on it, because I don't know. I like the song, but like I said, I wasn't really able to make it gorgeous. Okay, so it's kind of raw. It's a little raw. But yeah, what do you guys think about the Tim Duncan highlight? Yeah, but do you think that it looked like it was reconnecting for a minute? Do you think I should make a lyric video, or just put the lyrics in the comment section? Because I'm not completely sure. And by the way, hopefully you can hear me. You can still hear me. We need Pirtle, Patty, and Rudy on the floor in the clutch. Okay. I want to know that, though. Somebody answer me. With the song that I got coming out called Tim Duncan, Should I do? Okay. Do highlight, bro. Okay. I'll just do that. I'll just play the highlights and just put a filter on it and just call it a day. I definitely don't feel like doing a lyric video for that. It's just so much. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Anyways, oh yeah. So we were talking about defense, right? So the San Antonio Spurs defense. I want to add on to that I think that the San Antonio Spurs defense is going to be even better than we expecting. Because first off, Dre Jones may or may not get playing time. I don't know. Devin Vassell, I think we're in a position where he has to get playing time. There's no G League, okay? So a lot of these players are just going to be with the Spurs. Like there's no G League, and I can see Devin Vassell actually getting playing time because of that. It's a high possibility he won't, but I mean, Spurs are really have to go out of their way to not give the young guys playing time. Like, really have to go out of the way. Like last season, it felt like they were going out of their way to not give certain people playing time, but at the same time, you did have DeMar Carroll on the team at some point. You did have Marco Bellinelli, and you had Bryn Forbes, and we were going pretty deep in our bench. So okay, fine. They had an excuse to not play certain players, but they will really have to go out of their way at this point. Like, if you don't play those players, you're really going out of your way, because even though the team is very similar to what it was, you're losing guards, and then you gained a small forward and another guard, so you really have to just go out of your way to not play them. But what I was saying was, with the Spurs, I think our defense is going to be even better than we expect, because you look at the players on the team that's left. Who are our weakest defenders? Like last season, like I'm assuming Marco won't be here. Okay, I'm assuming Marco won't be here. But you think about last season, this last season we had. Who was our worst defender? You could name it quickly. People will say Bryn Forbes or Marco Bellinelli. That's what they'll say. And then on top of that, those two guys played quite a few minutes. Okay, so but then this season, that whole thing, like, who's the worst defender? I think the worst defender on the team will be Patty. And Patty being your worst defender on the team is incredible. That is incredible. Patty Mills is your worst defender. Oh, you think DeMar? Okay, you're right. It's probably DeMar, not Patty. It's probably DeMar. DeMar is probably the worst. But no, even DeMar being the worst is a really good position to be in, because DeMar isn't just a terrible defender. DeMar isn't a good on-ball defender by any means. Okay. He's not a great on-ball defender. I personally feel like he learned a little bit from Derek White. He started moving his feet a little differently throughout his career with the Spurs. Once he started playing with the Spurs, when he was playing with Derek White. Because one thing you notice about Derek White is he's not super reactionary. Derek White, he's more so like, he's going to move. It seems like Derek White really watches a lot of tape on you, and he's going to move where he knows your tendency is going to be. So he's kind of there before you get there. Like, he's really good at moving his feet, because he got to kind of make up in his mind what the player more than likely is about to do. The ball handler is more than likely going to do. So when I look at DeMar DeRozan started doing more of that. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but he started doing more of that the more he played with Derek White. So DeMar being your worst defender is incredible. Okay, that's incredible. I was going to say Patty Mills being the worst, but Patty Mills can play defense. So DeMar DeRozan, that is a really good point. Maybe it is DeMar DeRozan. That is great, because DeMar DeRozan is going to be surrounded around guys who can play defense, and DeMar DeRozan, on top of that, is a guy that's more so an opportunist on defense. He's really good at getting in the lanes. He's pretty good off ball, for the most part. Sometimes he's bad, but for the most part, he's good at getting between those lanes, being really crafty, finding ways to get the ball out of your hand. Okay. I lost signal, but it looks like it's back now. So, yeah. Sorry about that. I did not know what was going on. But what I was saying was, I think it's incredible if Patty Mills or DeMar DeRozan is your worst defender on the team. And I'm sorry if you can't see me. I just don't like putting my my lights on like at night. And by the way, man, I hate when it gets dark this quick. I don't know what's going on, man. Like, I know daylight saving time, but come on, bro. 5 o'clock, it's super dark. Might just be cloudy, I don't know. But yeah, I'd rather trade LA than DeMar. Yeah, I think everybody kind of agrees with that. But yeah, man, I'm just saying, like, our worst defender. I mean, that's pretty good. But technically, our worst defender will probably be Luka. Technically, we just don't know how much of Luka we're gonna see. You know what I mean? Yeah, we just don't know. It's one of those weird things with the Spurs right now, where it's like, even though we might need Luka out there, like, we need more bigs because we're so limited on bigs right now. Well, not really. I mean, 3 bigs, that's not bad. But 4 bigs, actually. Technically 4 bigs with Trey Lyles. So we're not really limited on bigs. I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. I just don't see Luka getting playing time this season. And that's just me being completely honest. But I can see the young guards getting it. It's just when, I mean, Luka right now, like, what we want out of our bigs, we don't really need a Luka right now. Luka's going to be a very skilled big man, skilled player, skilled guy who could play probably power forward / small forward at times, you know. So, you know, it's just not something we're like needing right now. Like, there's so many other players we gotta, you know, get better and do their thing. I'm gonna say this too, man. And I'm sorry, Ruru. I know Ruru. This is probably gonna trigger Ruru. I'm sorry, Ruru, but I have to be real. I'm happy Mezzi's gone. Like, really happy Chimezie Metu's gone. It was just wasted space, dude. Wasted space. I'm not saying the guy is like trash or nothing like that. Maybe it is just with him being with the Spurs and he couldn't find his way. I don't know, but man, I did not like watching him play. I did not like watching Chimezie Metu play. Every single time I saw Chimezie Metu play, I was like, dude, I don't know what your game is. I don't know what function you have on this team. I don't know. It's like you sometimes he force shots. Sometimes he doesn't pass the ball when he should. Sometimes he's just a jump shooter. Sometimes he's trying to score around the paint, and that's what he's trying to dominate at. It's just like, man, I don't know. He don't have a lot of size. It was just, man, I just did not like Chimezie Metu on the team. I'm just happy he's gone, because it really was one of those things where it's just wasted space. Like, we're not doing anything with him. Maybe when he goes somewhere else, you know, they'll be able to utilize his talents a little bit more. I had no idea what Chimezie Metu was, like, at all. He didn't live up to his potential. I wish he could have performed better. Yeah. I mean, I just don't know what the potential. See, that's the thing. But like, even when we got Chimezie Metu, like, in the draft, right? So when we got Chimezie Metu, from the gate, I wasn't excited about him. Like, from the gate. Like, when I watched some highlights of him, when I, you know, then later on when I saw him in the G League and I saw some stuff from him, I was never excited about Chimezie. I just don't see it. He just don't have it, you know? It's some people that have the it factor, and for Chimezie, it was like, he just doesn't have that it factor. Honestly, and I'll be honest, and this is, you know, this is going to be controversial among Spurs fans. You guys aren't going to agree with me on this. I do not see the value in Weatherspoon, Quindary Weatherspoon. I don't see it. I don't think he's going to be anything special with us. I think that Quindary Weatherspoon right now is a solid player, and he will be a solid role player in his career. But I don't see him more as that. I feel like what makes him look so good is because he's a little older, got a little more experience. He's fundamentally sound. Therefore, he looks better than a lot of the competition that he's had to go against right now. But I just don't think he has that it factor for me. I don't see Witherspoon as like becoming great in the NBA. I don't see it. I don't see him. I don't see him with us in the next season or so. If I'm being honest, I don't. He don't feel like one of those players that we'll keep. And that's my thoughts on him. That's my thoughts on him. I don't. You know, I don't dislike him or nothing like that. I don't think he's. Damn, this person took forever to turn. Like, that person took forever to turn. Like, they were in front of me. No one in the other lane, and they wanted to make a left, and they just took forever. Good Lord. Q is like Chris Paul type guard to me. He will continue to learn. Scare himself. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see Quindary being something special. I don't see it. If I'm just being completely honest. I just see him. I see him as I see him as one of those players that is always going to come off the bench. That will end up being, have a pretty good career. But he's going to go from team to team, and it's just going to be what his career looks like. I think he looks like dude, what's his name? I don't even know if I'd say as good as that, but maybe kind of like a Quinn Cook career, maybe. I don't know. Quinn Cook is pretty good at times, but I guess more like a Quinn Cook or a what's his name? Ben Mclemore. Ben Mclemore. You know what I'm talking about? Is that his name? Is it Ben Mclemore? He's a player that kind of went from team to team. Pretty good role player coming off the bench, but that's about it. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's Ben Mclemore, right? I think it's Ben Mclemore. Brandon Clark's pretty good. But other players on the team, I see it, and it's like just the eye test. I'm like, okay, you're gonna be something. Like, Lonnie definitely can be a superstar. Like, hands down, he can be a superstar. I think DeJounte Murray has the capability, but I think DeJounte Murray's ceiling will be star. Maybe all-star, possibly all-star, maybe. Derek White, I think he'll just be a solid point guard, regardless. Good all-around player, crafty. But I don't think Derek, and I love Derek White. He's my favorite player on the team, but I don't think he'll be a superstar. Possibly star, maybe, not really. I think that he'll more than likely his ceiling is when you need him, he's going to be there. And those nights where no one's scoring, he'll be the one to put up 30 on you. Like, it's going to be like that. It's not going to be consistent. It's going to be here and there. But he can do it. He's capable of doing it, obviously. And then with Keldon Johnson, I don't know why Google's listening to me. With Keldon Johnson, I don't see Keldon Johnson as becoming a superstar either. And I think a lot of people will be like, sorry, I don't know what's going on. Well, I know what's going on. It's just not a lot of signal out here sometimes. It'll get better once I get closer to like a city. I'm like in bumfuck nowhere. I'm in a really rural part right now. So, but yeah, last thing I was saying. What I was saying was, I was talking about Keldon Johnson, and what I was saying was, I feel like Keldon Johnson won't be a superstar. But I do see him as being like a star. I think that he'll be a really solid, like, third, fourth best player on the team. Maybe third. I'm gonna say third. I don't know about fourth. Probably third best player on the team. And he's most like anybody hear anything? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. There we go. Okay, so you can hear me. Let's give me a yes. Okay, cool. All right, so, geez, dude, I'm getting so. This is more so a kind of little bitty city, so like they'll have signal, but man, going through rural like parts of freaking Kentucky is awful. Gosh, it's awful, dude. I don't see how anyone can live in those areas. Oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah, as I was trying to say. What was I trying to say? Oh, Keldon Johnson, third best player on the team. Hands down, that's what he'll be. I don't see him being much more than that. Other than that, I think that he is, I think he's going to be a tremendous player that's going to play his whole career with San Antonio, because he doesn't seem like he's high maintenance. It seems like the Spurs, he's one of those players that the Spurs are probably going to give a nice contract to and take care of. He just has the feeling of a guy who stays with the Spurs his whole career. It's just something about him, you know? Honestly, I don't even, I mean, I'm saying that, but honestly, I don't even know what that means anymore with certain players. Like, I never thought that DeJounte Murray would want to stick with the Spurs his whole career. As of right now, I mean, obviously, I mean, he's not on a crazy long contract or nothing like that, but at the same time, he has shown that he wants to stay with San Antonio, which is just weird. I think it's more of a loyalty thing, because I know he's always talked about how the Spurs saved him. Like, he always says that, like, Spurs saved my life. What's up, Cody? I'm sorry if you hear my cat. She's with me. I'm driving towards my parents' house. So I'm not gonna be there in a while. Like, this is ridiculous. That's a cool looking store. What store is it? But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, Keldon Johnson and stuff. He's cool. He's good. Good player. Good player. Real good player. Damn good player. Fine good player. I freaking love Keldon. You know, we were having a discussion on when I was on what was it? It was the draft night. Okay, so it was draft night, and you know, it was me and the OOC crew and whatnot. Me, Rob, Maddie, and Harrison, and we were all like just talking, and like Harrison. We got in an argument with Harrison, me and Rob, about this. And I'm gonna bring this to your guys' attention if you weren't like in that stream, if you weren't over there. So basically, the discussion was, should the Spurs have played, or the Spurs were wrong for not playing Keldon Johnson early on. Okay, so that was the discussion, that the Spurs should have played Keldon Johnson early on. Harrison had some good points, but his main thing was that the Spurs, and I don't know if it was necessarily the Spurs made a mistake, or he just kind of conceptualized why the Spurs would do that, like why they did that, and why it made sense for them not to do it. And he believed that Keldon Johnson became better while he was in the G League, and that G League experience had him ready for the NBA. I will say this. Okay, I'm gonna give you my take on it, and this is what we were talking to him about when it comes to Keldon Johnson, because basically everybody else. Here, hold on one second. I got a call. I'm back. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we were having a discussion on whether or not Keldon Johnson should have already been playing. Okay, so that's what me and Hey, hold on. Yeah, I'm back. So no. So what we were talking about? Oh my God, I'm sorry guys. I keep taking a call. So what we were talking about was whether or not the G League made a difference for Keldon Johnson. And my whole thing, I have a very strong position on this. I think the G League can be like pretty nice for players. I think it helped Lonnie Walker quite a bit, just from his playing style and what the Spurs were going to expect out of him, defensively and doing other things on the court. And I think that experience did nothing else but help Lonnie Walker. Okay? So I truly do believe that. I think that with Lonnie Walker, he needed it. I don't believe that with Keldon. I just do not believe Keldon Johnson needed the G League. I thought that it was blasphemous for most of the season Keldon Johnson not playing. And if you look at our record, there was one point in our record, I think in November, where we lost like 8 games in a row. It was if you watch those games, it was a lot of defense. It was a lot of Brent Forbes playing defense, Marco Bellinelli, us as a collective group not playing good enough defense, no one making that spark on the defensive end. DeJounte Murray wasn't that great defensively at times, and I don't want to give him an excuse, but at the same time, he is coming off an injury, and we know what DeJounte Murray is capable of. Okay, so it's not like a problem, like, oh my God, he can't play defense. Like, he'll be okay. But for the most part, what I'm trying to say is, we were in a huge slump throughout the season, constantly. It was pretty obvious near the beginning of the season, and when we got a little further, maybe closer to the middle, that the Spurs weren't going to play DeMarre Carroll. Okay, so DeMarre Carroll at that point was basically gone. Okay, and it was a lot of like little drama with him. He wanted more playing time. Spurs weren't willing to give it to him. It just didn't look right. So the Spurs made up their mind they weren't going to play DeMarre Carroll, and a lot of that team was lacking defense. Now, I'm not saying hinder somebody's growth by bringing them in and plugging them in and getting desperate. I'm not saying that. But what I will say is Keldon Johnson was ready to play. Keldon Johnson has the type of playing style that yes, he can expand on it with trying to become a shot creator. He can expand on it maybe with his jump shot or something like that. More skill-based technical things he could probably build on. But he is not going to be a night and day shooter or scorer from the G League to the San Antonio Spurs overnight. Like, that is something that you're going to be doing a lot after hours. Okay, that's going to be a lot in the court, your own time, doing your thing. I don't believe that Keldon Johnson had to go to the G League. It just made no sense. Now, and on top of it, we're not the same Spurs we were in the past, where the young guys go to the G League and it makes total sense no matter who it is that goes, because we don't have Timmy, we don't have Manu, we don't have Tony Parker, we don't have those guys, we don't have those really great superstar veterans that we were accustomed to having. So, in no merit did it make sense, in my opinion, that Keldon Johnson goes to the G League. None. And maybe at the beginning, but I feel like when you got near the middle of the season, there's no reason he shouldn't have been playing. And the Spurs knew this, because in February, when he started playing, he didn't start off with 5 minutes. When he started playing, if you go look, guys, when Keldon Johnson started playing, that man started playing with like 15 to 20 minutes a game. Like, it wasn't like, okay, we're just gonna give the Spurs a little sample size. That man was in there for a lot of minutes. So there was no reason to not play the dude. He has that type of game where he can go into the game, he hustles, he plays hard, he gets to the rim, and that's where most of his points come from. That's not going to get any better or worse by going to the G League. He has that type of game, and he was bounds ahead. That's another thing. He was just so much better than the competition in the G League. So just overall, it just didn't make a lot of sense for him to be in the G League. Similar to Summer League, right? Summer League, the beginning of the season. What did the Spurs do? They played Lonnie Walker a little bit in the Summer League. Lonnie Walker blew it out of the water. It was a cakewalk for him, and it was blatantly obvious that he didn't belong in that Summer League. but let alone a G League. He needed to just go ahead and go to the NBA. That's how it was with Keldon. And Keldon Johnson just has that type of game where he has a high basketball IQ, great defense, tough player, mature on and off the court. He makes a difference as soon as he gets on the court. It made no sense, dude. The way that the Spurs were playing this season, everyone was so trash. It made no sense that the vets, any vet, deserved their minutes. Back in the day, those minutes were earned, okay? Tim Duncan was earned. Manu Ginobili would get benched if he does something stupid. Tony Parker will get benched. They didn't care. Pop didn't care. He's like, I don't care who you are, you can get benched. Tim Duncan got benched in Game 6 against the Heat in 2013 for no reason. Just so we could lose that series. He didn't care. Popovich will bench you no matter who you are, all right? So it makes no sense to me that guys like DeMar DeRozan and LA, who are very like short-term players, vets on our team. Well, not LA. LA been there for a while, but you know what I mean. Like soon, more than likely, they won't be there. I think DeMar probably going to stick around. That's what it's starting to look like. Like I don't think DeMar go anywhere unless we trade him. But I mean, it's cool. We keep him. That's cool. But LA, for instance, he's going to be gone. Like these players don't get benched. They don't get benched. It's weird. It's so weird. Like, how do they not get benched? How does I don't know. I'm like losing my mind right now just thinking about it. Like, this is a different. What did Ruru say? I'm sorry, I missed it. Wait, I got you. This is a different NBA, and Pop knows his players and what his game plan is. Well, you know what? I think. Wait. Okay, the chat is going, and it's hard for me to like keep up with it. But Aruru, I hear what you're saying. I agree that Popovich knows his players. I do agree with that. But I think that Popovich don't bench them maybe because of mentality thing. I don't know. But what my point is, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make, and we can say this all we want, that Pop knows his players. Pop knows his players. For the most part, he does. Popovich is the GOAT, greatest coach of all time in my books. Like, he's an amazing coach, and it seems like even a more amazing person. So Popovich is that guy, right? I love Pop, but he's human, and he can be wrong. And I think that the Spurs this last season, and I know that the Kawhi Leonard situation kind of put a roadblock, for our team. I understand that, but at the same time, it's like, damn, dude, like some of these players just don't have to be on the court, and I think that they made a mistake. I think that they tried to stick with the whole, vets over young guys thing, but it was many a nights where the vets weren't playing like vets. And I'm not saying they were out there playing like trash, as in like just scoring wise. Yes, they did not score well, but I'm saying they were playing like trash, as in, yo, you guys aren't even trying tonight. That's a problem, dude. When it's to the point where I feel like the team ain't even trying, like where the players aren't even trying, why are you playing? Like, I don't know. But as you saw, as soon as Keldon Johnson got some more minutes, he made a difference. We were literally just a few games out of the playoffs. Yes, say Keldon Johnson was playing most of the season, he would have flipped some of those games. And I'm not saying Keldon Johnson is, a star, or he would have just scored a stupid amount of points. What I'm saying is Keldon Johnson would have made a big enough difference. And I know it's not like like the NFL, one play, this guy makes one play and that can flip the whole game. I'm not saying that, but I will say Keldon Johnson make it a little hard for guys here and there. Maybe it don't show up on the stats. Maybe it's not a whole bunch of steals. Maybe it's not a whole bunch of blocks, but it's going to be some missed shots. It's going to be some pressure. It's going to be something where he does enough of it, and we win those games. Honestly, there was a lot of games we lost close. close games that we lost. So with that being said, I have a hard time believing the man wouldn't have helped. It's such bullshit. Like that whole mentality that we got to play our vets over the young guys. That is not the case no more. The young guys, if the young guys are playing better than the vets, then they're better than the vets. Like, let's be honest, guys. Let's be real right here. Let's be completely real. I would say many a times, especially during the bubble, okay, I would say Keldon Johnson was our third best player on the team. Maybe second at times. Obviously, we know DeMar overall is the best player, scoring-wise and all that. But what I'm saying is, in every other aspect, let's just say like overall player and what type of impact they made on the Spurs, Keldon Johnson was like second or third, probably second for the most part. Derek White made a huge difference in the bubble. But I would say Keldon Johnson was probably our second best player on that team. And I would say overall, I think he is like the third, fourth best player on the team, as far as what type of impact he has on the court. So I don't know. Him not playing is crazy, and not to mention he has a crazy great relationship with the other young guys, and he's contagious. That's another thing. Like you can't just judge Keldon Johnson based off of just his playing on the court. You got to think about what his playing style is and how contagious that is. When you see Keldon Johnson play, if you're playing with a guy that's diving for loose balls, that's fighting to get in position to get a steal, who's blocking, rebounding, doing all the dirty work. Even if you're a player that don't necessarily do it, you want to show out for him. You want to play for him. You get. He get an and one. He's on the ground. He's screaming out big body. That pumps you up. And especially think about a big man. All right, think about a big man that sees a little guy going at it. It pumps them up. They're like, dang, if you can get a block, let me get some blocks. That's my job, and you over here doing it. No, let me. I can do something too. Like, good Lord, man. Him not playing was stupid to me. I'm sorry. I don't have anything else to say to that. I just thought it was stupid. Man, Hayward got 120 million. Yo, that is crazy. That's crazy. But I think it's a matter of they don't have to pay nobody else, and then he's kind of a big name. If he plays as well as he did with the Utah Jazz, that's pretty damn nice. That's a pretty nice Hayward, but man, it is a lot of injuries. But I guess in any business situation, like, I don't know, the business is the ones that's taking a chance on you. I don't know. It is strange though, right? It is strange. But Hayward was a star. I think people kind of forget that Hayward was like a legitimate star. Borderline superstar. It used to really bother me too, because I remember when he was with the Utah Jazz, a lot of people would say like, oh, he's the best white player, or like one of the best white players in the NBA. And it used to always bother me, man, because I'm a Hayward fan, and I think that's stupid. I don't think he was the best just white player. Like that's so stupid to me. Like, it's because to me, I thought Hayward was just one of the best players, period. I wouldn't put I never put Hayward in a category like that. Like, oh, he's just one of these best this type of player. Like, no. Like, best white player, like, that's stupid. Like, because I think about, like, when I think of a white player, if you say, oh, he's the best white player, like, it's almost like you're putting him in the category of, like, J.J. Redick and Kyle Korver, and these are fantastic players, but these are, like, sharpshooters. Like, what other, I mean, I guess, well, I mean, Luka wasn't in the league yet, so, like, it just kind of irritated me. It's like, best white player. Like, dude, he's just one of the best players, period. That's like saying, you know how big of a fan I am of Eminem. That's like saying Eminem is the best white rapper. It's like, yeah, but he's also probably just one of the best rappers, period. like he's like top 3, like easy. Like, if you don't put Eminem in your top 3, you have to admit that you're doing that based on only because, you know, you have some other favorites and not necessarily just pure skill. Because pure skill, I mean, him not making a top 3 is crazy. I'd say 1, but hey, that's just me. But no, what I'm saying is, yeah, Hayward, man, he was not just one of the best white players, and I hate putting somebody in that type of category. That's not cool. He deserved better than that. And I understand that there's not like a whole bunch of great like white players in the NBA, but dude, I hated that. Like I used to hear that on TNT. I heard it on ESPN. Like, oh no, Hayward was just one of the best players. Like, cause he was actually like my second favorite player in the NBA when he was with the Jazz. He was just so crafty, dude. He was like a better Melo to me. Like he was just so crafty. He was good at passing, good teammate, could shoot on any point on the court, just about. Just smooth, just silky smooth, clutch. Yeah, it was just everything about Hayward I liked. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys ever heard that saying like, "Oh, he's the best white player." Like I hate that. He's not. He's one of the best players, or he was. He was. He was. He was. Now I'm like thinking about it. Like, who is the best white player right now? I guess it is Luka. Yeah, I would say Luka. I don't know who else. It was definitely Dirk Nowitzki during his run. Steve Nash was. But see, that's like, okay, that's like saying Steve Nash was one of the greatest white point guards or something. It's like, no, he was just one of the best point guards, period. Like, certain people, you can put that in the category, like, oh, he's the best, you know, this particular race NBA player. It's like, okay, you know, I can see that. Like for instance, you know, well, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Never mind. I was gonna say Yao Ming, but no, Yao Ming's actually one of the best. So you can't even use Yao Ming like that. Yao Ming stayed injured, dude. It was so weird. I'm sorry, I'm not even in on our conversation. I went on a tangent about white people. I don't know. Let me see. What y'all talking about? Give me a topic to talk about. Whatever you guys want to talk about. Even though I hate Paul George, I definitely wouldn't mind adding him to the team. Paul George is a choke artist. All right? Hold on, let me turn the light on just so you can like see my face when I say that. Paul George is a joke artist. He is a choke artist. He is a joke. Okay? I just wanted to say that. He's a joke. Hey, I wonder if I turn my lights on at the bottom. No, you still can't see me that well. Yeah, that'd kill. But yeah, he's a choke artist, man. I wouldn't want Paul George. He's a choke artist. You know, I think it's crazy that much hate for not signing Paul George when that came out that Kawhi George is like NBA works. Like do we not realize that? But yeah, what was I saying? I mean, do we not realize that there's a whole team of people that come together that say whether or not they, you know, a player is going to work, or you know who they want, and down the line, will they be able to keep that player? Will they be able to build around those players? Like, there's people that actually think about this, and it really sucks that we're in like an era where everybody gets upset if you don't get a player that a star wants. That's so like lame, dude. But it says something about, and to me it says something about Kawhi too, that's what he requested at that time, because you had Manu Ginobili, you had there we go. I don't know what just happened. But what I'm saying was, you had a very good foundation. So the fact that at that time, while we just got off a championship, at least a couple asking for Paul George to come, like what? George, dude, we would have been screwed. Like, that doesn't necessarily mean, oh my God, now we're great. So we got Paul George. Paul George is a choke artist. He is a choke artist. Paul George is a choke artist. He is a choke artist. This man, and you know, I'm usually not that like tough on players when I talk about them and stuff like that. Like usually I'm kind of like, oh, you know, hey, by the way, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me okay? I'm trying to make sure you can hear me. I had to leave and get back in, so I didn't know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me before I keep talking, because I do want to address. Oh, you can, what? No, we can't. Damn it! I don't know if you're messing with me or not. Can you hear anything? Can anybody hear anything? I guess no one can hear anything. Okay, all right. Yeah, I was like, okay, King Kenneth is messing with me. Yeah. So what I was saying was, when it comes to Paul George, I'm not sitting here trying to say that Paul George is trash. Yes, we can keep talking. Okay. I'm not saying Paul George is trash. No, I kind of am saying that. What I'm trying to say is, I don't want to like just bash on Paul George, but at the same time, there is enough in his career where I think I can say pretty confidently that he is a choke artist. He is the epitome of what a choke artist is. Like, when he was the star of the team, he choked. I don't even think Paul George is a good teammate. And that's me being honest. I wouldn't want Paul George on my team, because I think back of when he was with the Pacers, he was already on his way out. Everyone knew he wasn't happy with the Pacers, and then he even threw like more fuel on the fire when they were in the playoffs, and it was a clutch situation. His teammate had a really good shot. Okay, really good shot, open, pretty good shot. And Paul George is the one who passed him the ball. And then Paul George wanted the ball back. And then after the game, Paul George says, I have to take those shots in those situations. You know, no matter what, you need to give me the ball. I need the ball in those situations. But he's the one who gave up the ball in the first place. It's like, I do not like Paul George, man. As far as a player and being on a team, I do not like Paul George. I think Paul George is a choke artist. I think Paul George is trash. I wouldn't want Paul George on my team. I think he's toxic. I don't think he's that good of a teammate. And that's just me being honest. I think he's Kawhi's friend. I think that's why Kawhi wanted him, because they're friends. That's it. I don't think Paul George is a good teammate. I don't think Kawhi's a good teammate. I used to think that Kawhi was a decent teammate. You know, I was just like, oh, he's just quiet. You know, that's kind of just his thing. No, I think Kawhi's a bad teammate. I don't think Kawhi's a good teammate. I think when I think of Kawhi, and this is not me basing off of, oh, this is just me being spite, you know, going at Kawhi, because Kawhi ain't trash. Because I'll call Paul George trash. I would never call Kawhi trash. He is not trash. That man can play basketball, but I don't think he's a good teammate. I think it's very strange how he can't communicate well, or he doesn't communicate well with his teammates, it seems. And when he does say things with his teammates, it's very harsh. And I'm not saying that, oh, we got to be, you know, the Kobe mentality is out the window and we all got to be nice, you know, like LeBron, how LeBron is with his teammates for the most part. LeBron can get on to you. For the most part, LeBron's pretty nice. I'm not saying you have to be a LeBron. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a Kobe. But one thing about Kobe is Kobe would talk all the time. He had good moments, he had bad moments with teammates. Same thing with Michael Jordan. Super charismatic guy. He could get away with saying whatever he wants to you, because after the game, he don't mind having a beer with you. He don't mind, you know, having a cigar with you, go golfing with you. Like, he was everything, okay? That dude really was like you want to think about players that's hard on their teammates and it works, think of Michael Jordan. All right, so Michael Jordan was perfect for that. Kawhi Leonard, he doesn't expect his teammates as somebody else can. And I'm not saying that awful, or he's just completely a bad teammate 100% or anything like that, but I don't think he's necessarily a good teammate. I remember he had some moments where He passed the ball. I can't remember what player it was. Okay, so I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I remember who it was. It was a player that don't talk often. So give me a second. I'm trying to get past this car. Okay. But yeah, it was a teammate that he doesn't play often. I remember that much. Okay, so he's kind of like more so like off the bench, and Kawhi gave him the ball, and the guy like missed a shot or something like that, and Kawhi said, I passed up the ball for that shit, and he said that to him, and you read his lips, that's exactly what he said to me. But it's so weird because anything that Kawhi says is like something like that. It's like a jab. It's like it's so weird to me. And I haven't heard one teammate come out and say, "Oh yeah, Kawhi is great to play with." None. Even when he was with the Spurs, our teammates will always say, our team would always say, "I don't know Kawhi." Like that was always the thing. It was kind of funny, but you know now like looking back, it was like, oh damn, he didn't really have any connection with the team because they would say, "Yeah, we don't really talk to Kawhi." He's like, Kawhi, everybody would say he works hard. No one would say Kawhi in a gym rat. He works hard. I would even say that Kawhi, for the most part, is pretty clutch. But yeah, that was just kind of like the thing. Like he just didn't say anything. Now, I just don't think he's a great teammate. Now, Paul George, I think he's an awful teammate. I think Paul George is an awful teammate. I think Paul George hypes himself up too often. I think Paul George is comfortable with losing. I think that Paul George isn't clutch. I think Paul George is an overrated defender. Like when people say he's a great defender, I don't think he's a great defender. I think Paul George shrivels up when there's competition that's better than him. I think Paul George settles for too many shots. I think Paul George is a loser, and that's on the court. I'm not saying like off the court. Obviously, in life, the man is a winner. You know, he got his skill up to the point where he's in the NBA. He probably, obviously he worked hard at it. You know, just get that. But yeah, I think he's a loser overall. So yeah, I would never want Paul George on the San Antonio Spurs ever. Like when I say that I wouldn't want somebody like Russell Westbrook, it's not for the same reasons for not wanting Paul George. Like certain stars I don't want. Glenn, we just traded DeMar in LA for half a ham sandwich and Luka Doncic. I would trade LA for a half a ham sandwich. But no, what I was saying was like certain stars I wouldn't certain stars, okay? Certain stars I wouldn't want. And I wouldn't want Westbrook, but it has nothing to do with the same reasons I wouldn't want Paul George. With Westbrook, I wouldn't want him because I feel like sometimes he forced me shots to get in his own head. I don't like how he is kind of off the court. Not off the court like, oh, he's out doing crazy stuff. Just when he talks to the media, it's just kind of unnecessary, man. It's just a bad vibe. I just don't like it. I'm like, dude, just come on, just be cool. What else? I think sometimes he's clutch, sometimes he's not. But yeah, I just think he gets in his own head and he takes too many shots. He's not capable of giving it up in certain situations. I think sometimes he thinks he's better than he is at times, which that's what makes him great or makes him a really good player and more than likely be in the Hall of Fame. But it is an issue. I mean, it really did hinder his chances for a championship every single year. But that has nothing to do with like the reason I want Paul George. Like it's like night and day. Like at least with Westbrook, I know he's a good teammate. Russell Westbrook is a good teammate. I know that's one thing that's like a misconception about Russell Westbrook is that Russell Westbrook isn't a good teammate because he takes too many shots. That doesn't necessarily make him a bad teammate. That's him getting in his own head. He needs some coaching or somebody he respects to tell him, hey man, you need to stop. He just ain't really listening to the people around him that much about that stuff. They had a like big beef after all that, and the main problem was the fact that Russ Westbrook basically said Kevin Durant didn't say nothing. Like he thought everything was cool, and then Kevin Durant went out and started saying that Westbrook takes too many shots. So I think that he just needs a guy that he respects, and that would be somebody like Popovich, and Tim Duncan, who still comes around the training, facility and whatnot. I think he would just need somebody who he will respect, and that he can really, really break down the game to him. And in certain situations he just don't get in his own head, or you take him out of the game when you see him getting that way and talk to him for a minute. I think that's what Westbrook needs. Okay, so those are the reasons I wouldn't want Westbrook, because I would just be afraid that he won't be able to overcome those things, okay? Because he's so late in his career now. But yeah, the reason I wouldn't want Paul George is that he's a loser. I don't care how good you are. If you're a loser, I won't want you. If you're a loser, I don't want you. I don't think Westbrook is a loser. I think Westbrook takes the game very seriously. I think Westbrook wants to win. I think he just don't know how to get out of his own head. But I think he does want to win. I wouldn't want James Harden. I think James Harden is a loser. I think James Harden is one of the greatest scorers of all time, and I also think he's a loser. Is that crazy to say? Is that crazy to say? Listen, chat. Is that crazy to say that I don't want James Harden? Is that crazy to say? I think he's a loser. I think he's a loser. I don't know. I wouldn't want James Harden. That's one player I wouldn't want to touch. You don't think it's crazy? Okay. So, what's your name? Dan? Okay, Dan. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I was wondering, like, is that crazy to say I wouldn't want James Harden? I just wouldn't. Harden is a trick. Damn. I didn't go that far. I'm thinking, when should I release? You know what? I might work on the video tonight and just like put something together and just put the. I don't know. I want to just go ahead and upload it, man. I might upload the rap video tomorrow for Thanksgiving. That would be cool. Just set it. I'll just schedule it and have it come up tomorrow sometime. That would be cool. I don't know. That was a random thought, but yeah, I wouldn't want Harden. He's a choke artist. He's a choke artist, and I think that, like I said, the same thing with Paul George. I have a big enough sample size of James Harden being a choke artist, or not even a choke artist, just being a loser, that I'm okay with never having him. Like he complains about everything. Like he complained when he had Kevin McHale, who was a very tough coach. He was a tough player, and that's the type of coach you want if you want to win a championship. He ran him out of town. Got D'Antoni. I haven't heard any complaints about him with D'Antoni, and D'Antoni's scheme just never works. Like, you never win a championship. D'Antoni can't win championships because his scheme is based around just shooting and like lack of defense. Like he doesn't have an emphasis on defense. He even teaches his players. Like I remember, I can't remember what year it was, but it did come out that one of the things that D'Antoni would say is he wants it to be fast paced. He wants his offense to be fast paced no matter what. So don't like, okay, I remember what happened. It was a particular situation, okay? I can't remember what player it was, but they turned the ball over and the other team was going on a fast break, and one of the players fouled the guy to stop him from scoring, getting an easy score. That's simple basketball, right? D'Antoni responded. He took him to the side and he said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I just wanted to, foul him so he wouldn't get the ball off." And D'Antoni said, he responded, and D'Antoni said, "No, if somebody's in the fast break, don't foul them, let them score, because we want to keep the pace up. We don't want to slow down the game." That's what D'Antoni said. So this is the type of player that Harden has not had any complaints about. That tells me James Harden is a loser. I'm sorry. And it'd be one thing if James Harden just never complained, because you don't have to complain about your coach, okay? But it'd be one thing if he never complained. But he complained about Kevin McHale, who was just a tough coach. So the fact that you went and you complained about D'Antoni, who's a soft, or haven't complained about D'Antoni, who's a soft coach, it tells me you're soft. I'm sorry. That's soft. I don't know if you guys ever knew about that. I don't know if you guys ever heard about that D'Antoni does stuff like that. That's why he can never beat somebody like Popovich. That's why he's always been Popovich like little brother. Like he can never beat Popovich because he this is what he teaches his team. You know, even when his teams have the most talent, they can't beat us. I mean, he just soft, dude. He's just soft. But yeah, but overall, what I'm trying to say is, I wouldn't want James Harden because of all those reasons. And that's not even including like the meltdown he had with the Warriors that one season where it was like a game 7 and the man put up more turnovers than points. That's terrible. That was terrible. I remember that. That was terrible. I was like, dude, are you serious? I think I had money on that game. That's why I was so irritated. I had Harden playing great. And then not to mention when he went against us in 2017, he didn't show up in that last game. And we didn't even have, in game 6, and we didn't even have Kawhi. Kawhi didn't even play in game 6. So yeah, soft. Say you remember that? Yeah, dude, it was soft, dog. It was soft. It was soft like Charmin. That dude is just soft. Yeah, but I wouldn't want a hard. Another star I would want. I saw somebody mention Giannis and asked, do I think that we'll get Giannis? I don't. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If I had the choice between we get Giannis or Giannis stays with Milwaukee, I would choose Giannis stays with Milwaukee overall. Okay, and that's just for the future of the NBA. So in my mind, of course I want Giannis. Okay, but it's starting to look like the Bucks are gonna give him a pretty nice contract. And I heard some stories about Giannis, man. It's kind of crazy, like how all his brothers like had to split food and stuff. Like he would get a meal, or he would get a pretty good meal, and then he would just save like 2/3 of it for his brothers. That's crazy. So he comes from a very humble upbringing, and I'm pretty sure similar to DeJounte Murray, he has a mentality of, I want to be loyal, you know, to the people that took care of me. I'm going to be loyal. They're doing everything they can for us to be in a position to win championship. And he probably feels like he's not doing enough, which is true. Giannis is not doing enough to win a championship right now. That's not to say Giannis won't be able to do much, or he won't become the best player in the NBA or nothing like that. I really do believe in Giannis. I love Giannis as a player. I don't think he's afraid of anything. I don't think he's afraid to take the last shot. I don't think he's afraid to get grimy and gritty on defense. I don't think he's afraid to take over. It's just that he's very one-dimensional on the offensive end because he has a very Shaq-like approach to the game. But he needs to go ahead and add those other tools to his toolbox and not just rely on his athleticism, because, you know, later down the line, you can't expect to have a LeBron, okay? LeBron is a freak of nature. But with that being said, the reason why I wouldn't want Giannis, okay, is because I think that is good for the NBA if, what you say? You're right, Clan. Hold on. You're right, Clan. He needs to add more facets in his game. Yeah, for sure. But the thing is, with Giannis, I would much rather, for the benefit of all of us, okay, as NBA fans, if we all come together and we say, what's the one thing that we've hated about the NBA over the last, just say, 5 years, I would say maybe 6, over the last 6 years. No, longer than that, actually. Can you hear me? Man. People right now. Can you hear me? Does everything hear me? No, yes, maybe so. Very frustrating when I have like a point and it just. All right, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, dude? It's getting hot in Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Anybody? Can you hear me? Yes, no, maybe so. Can anybody hear me? Is my audio working? Can now. Okay. All right. So, what I was saying was, when it comes to, okay, cool. Okay. Yeah. What I was saying was, when it comes to Giannis, all right. So my thoughts on it is, what's like the one thing, like if you ask the NBA players, or not NBA players, NBA fans, like what's the one thing that has frustrated all of us in the past decade about the NBA? I think that it'll be a couple answers, and I think one of them will be the NBA probably being a little more soft, and so it'll be refereeing. So referees, you know, the NBA trying to protect their players to the point of, I mean, sometimes it's not even fun to watch how much they try to protect these, you know, these players because of how much money they bring in. But and players still get injured. I don't think the injuries are higher than it was back in the day. So I don't really understand that part of the game, whatever. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that's one thing. And then the second thing would, well, I'll ask you guys. Like, what's the one thing that has frustrated you in the past decade? Like, I won't even spoil what I feel like, you know, you guys will say. Like, what's the one thing that has frustrated you in the past decade about the NBA? Exactly, dog. Alright, I'm drinking up. Sugar-free Powerade. Exactly what Chase TTV said. Like, super teams, like, hands down, has been a lot of people's frustrations, like since 2009, when yeah, they do suck sometimes in Cleveland, and then even going to Cleveland and then creating another super team, like, and then into the Lakers and then trying to create another super team, and the same thing with, like, it's very frustrating. Okay, it's very frustrating, and that's one thing that really sucks. And honestly, I think that the culture of how players think need to go back to the old, like the 90s or at least early 2000s for the most part, because it, like, I understand that some teams you're going to end up with certain teams, especially you're going to be a lottery pick, okay? You're going to end up with teams that aren't that good, and some of those teams are in the lottery for a reason, and some of those teams are in the lottery all the time. So I understand you leaving. You know, it's like, this isn't going to go anywhere. You're not going to change the culture of that whole franchise. I understand you leaving. But it gets to a point where if you're in a good position and you're constantly in the playoffs and you have a chance to win a championship, maybe you need to look at yourself a little more often than looking to go grab some other players to try to get a cheap ring. So, like, when I think of Giannis right now, I'm not saying he will be doing that if he went to San Antonio. Going to San Antonio, honestly, doesn't make a lot of sense, and for him, okay? Number one, I want him to stay with the Bucks because it will change the culture and keep that culture of stick with the team that you want to be with, that drafted you, that you know, brought you up, that you have a chance to win with. Stick with your team, represent that city. Like, bring some other cities on the map. Like, put somebody on the map. Where it's like Milwaukee. Think about Milwaukee winning a championship. It's like, damn, like, you see them in a whole different perspective. You actually want to visit Milwaukee. Like, and just like the Raptors. Like, the Raptors were always a joke. Now it's like, no, yeah, it's the Raptors. Like, they're a championship team. They championship franchise, you know. And you just put them on the map. It's nothing special about winning championships with the Lakers or winning championships with Boston, or, you know, it's just nothing special about it. Like, just put some new teams on the map. And him coming to San Antonio, obviously, it wouldn't be the same as him going to anywhere else. But it doesn't make a lot of sense, him coming to San Antonio. Okay, he come to San Antonio. Popovich more than likely is only going to be here like a couple more seasons. I don't see Popovich, like, sticking around too much longer. Like, I'm pretty sure Pop going to retire soon. I know he loves it, but he's going to retire soon. So him coming to San Antonio, he's not like he's going to have Pop for the rest of his career. So that's a thing. All right, so he's probably not going to have Pop his whole career. And then he's going to be coming in a worse situation than he is right now. Now, sure enough, I'm not saying worse as in we're just trash and the Milwaukee Bucks are great, because we beat the Milwaukee Bucks quite a few times. We're good. We can be a pretty good team when we want to be. And we're about to be surrounded around defenders. So it makes sense logically to be with San Antonio. Kind of. But for the most part, you are in a worse position because you're going to San Antonio Spurs, who's in a rebuilding phase in the Western Conference. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I would say, I would much rather Giannis, look, man, just stay where you're at, build on that, don't ever leave Milwaukee, put them on the map, win a championship, and hopefully those kids that's coming up in middle school, high school, takes on that same mentality, and when they get to the NBA, it's the same thing. Because we really do need to shame people for going to create super teams. It does not need to be a norm to get super teams, because by doing that, all you're doing is devaluing a ring. Now, as far as financially for these players, yeah, it's cool. You win a ring, more endorsements, more money. That's in your resume. That you won a championship in your career. Really helps, when it's time for the Hall of Fame, speeches, Hall of Fame announcements and all that. It makes sense for you, okay? For a player, I mean, yeah, we're gonna sit here and be like, well, LeBron James had a super team here. Years down the line, it's gonna be in his resume that he won a championship. But when it pertains to us as the fans, it really devalues how we even view the finals. Like, it's gonna start feeling like the finals aren't the finals. That it's not really that fun. That you win a championship, so what? I mean, because everybody's gonna have an easier road than people had it before them. And it's just, I don't know. I just don't like that. It's just icky to me. Like, even now the Lakers are getting so many players right now, and now it looks like they're primed to win a championship. I'm sorry, the Lakers winning, or you just say LeBron, right? LeBron winning, because he's the king of super teams. LeBron winning 5 championships or 6 championships is nowhere near as impressive as Tim Duncan's 5, Kobe's 5, or Jordan's 6. Nowhere near. It's not like that on paper. Obviously, people are just gonna say, wow, he went to 3 different franchises. In the big scheme, in my opinion, as far as how we view championships, I don't think that as somebody like Timmy, who won all his championships, it's not the same. It is not the same. It was literally putting that franchise on your back and winning the championship, Nowadays, championship teams are manufactured. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it is manufactured. It's like, oh, now it's time for this player to win a championship. Oh, now it's time. Like, I remember, honestly, and this is me being completely honest, and I don't want to, I hate to do this whole hypothetical thing, but I have to do it. I never thought LeBron would have won a championship if it not were for him going to super teams. I never thought LeBron would just lead a team to a championship ever, if it weren't for his super teams. I remember that and I know some people might not remember this, and it's really hard to remember it when he's won like 4 now, right? Like 3 before this season. So it's kind of hard to remember this, but people don't remember the days or the years before LeBron won a championship. People don't remember how the media was with LeBron. Like, they're bad now, but you don't remember how disrespectful the media was. Like, they wanted LeBron to win a championship so bad. And it's like, dude, just let it happen naturally. They wanted to win it so bad. They were looking for their next Jordan for the longest. Kobe couldn't be the next Jordan because of the charges. The rape charge and all that other stuff that he was dealing with at that time. So he couldn't be the next Jordan. Okay, he wasn't clean enough. All right, in the media's eyes, Kobe wasn't clean enough. But when it comes to LeBron, okay, when it comes to LeBron James, he was clean. He was really clean. nice guy, clean, charismatic, fun to be around, crazy athletic ability. So they wanted him to be the next Jordan. But the one thing about Jordan is Jordan didn't get all this like manufactured, we want you to win a championship BS. Like Jordan just won it. It took some years, it took some time, but Jordan was always there trying to win a championship and eventually broke through, had the perfect team going forward, and he did not look back. That's what a championship is all about. That's what a championship should be all about. Not this manufactured, throw all these superstars on a team and try to win championships. That's not what championships should be about. And at that time, back before LeBron won a championship, they were comparing him to Kobe Bryant and well, mostly Kobe Bryant every step of the way. I don't know if you guys remember those like puppet commercials where they had LeBron and Kobe, and I think Kenan Thompson was doing one of the voices for the puppets. And we kind of making fun of the fact that LeBron didn't have a championship. But the whole idea of that whole thing that they were doing was a lot of people wanted to see Kobe go against LeBron in the finals. First off, LeBron wouldn't have touched Kobe, all right? Kobe would have beat LeBron every single time. But with that being said, they've been wanting this man to win championship forever, and I don't want it to be like that. No one's doing that with Giannis right now, and I don't want it to get to a point where the NBA is ready for Giannis to win a championship. Let it happen. Go win it. But it was not that way with LeBron. Everybody wanted him to get a championship, even when he wasn't ready to win one. But I really felt, I said at the time, I was like, LeBron would never win a championship on his own. I said that. I never believed he would win a championship. It took a lot. It took a lot for him to win that championship. AD is simp. If LeBron James wanted to play with him so bad, make ass come to New Orleans. Yeah, it's like they just want to. Look, Anthony Davis isn't a alpha male. Okay, I never seen Anthony Davis as a player that would just lead his team to a championship. He never came across that type of player. I would say LeBron James is more of an alpha male than AD. But then again, with the Lakers, it was the perfect storm. Like, the bubble helped a lot for them. It also helped that most of their team was ready to play. Like, they were very healthy. It helped that they went against some inexperienced teams and not some very good teams in the play. And I'm not knocking them on that. Like, you play who's in front of you, you win your ring. Like, no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter. That's not their fault that the competition isn't that good. But yeah, so, and then they didn't have to go against the Clippers. I think the Clippers series actually would have been a really good series. Even though the Clippers lost to the Nuggets, we all know that it doesn't necessarily work like that. Like, you can't look at teams and be like, if this team beat this team, so this team should be able to beat this team. Like, it don't really work like that. But overall, I think the Clippers and the Lakers series would have been a nice series, and I don't know if the Lakers could have came out of that. I don't know, because oftentimes Kawhi does have LeBron's number, but at the same time, earlier in the season when they went against each other, LeBron showed out. So who knows? Who knows how that would have went? And Clippers kind of showed that they were kind of full of themselves when it was all said and done. So who knows? Who knows? And them having Frank Vogel helps as well. Pretty good coach. But yeah. Anyways, what the point I'm trying to make is, I don't think LeBron would have won a championship without those super teams that he got. And you don't want it to be manufactured like it was with LeBron, where it's like people just bend over backwards to, basically just let you do whatever. Which, I mean, it's cool that you have control over what you do, but at the same time, when it's to a point where I request this player, like, and I can just get him. What's this dude doing? Oh my gosh. Friggin', you're a friggin' 16, you're 18 wheeler. Like, wait for me. What the heck was that? Jesus. People suck, dude. Thank God I'm a good driver, because that sucked. Like, you see people like, okay, if somebody's coming in, all right, off the ramp to get into the interstate, like, you make way for that. Especially when you're a freaking 18-wheeler, you got the space to do so. Like, he had another lane, and he just kept going down that lane. Like I already can't see you. In so many freaking bright lights. Anyway. But yeah. What was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. Giannis. Yeah, Giannis. He good. Let's just make sure Giannis keeps his team. Doesn't have to go anywhere. You know? That's all I want. That's all I want. When it's all said and done, that's all I want. That is all I want. That's all I want, baby. Gosh, dude, I hate 18-wheelers with a passion. With a passion, bro. Oh my gosh. They're so obnoxious. They like, just think they're the king of the road, man. I hate 18-wheelers. Hate the way they drive. Yeah. Any other topics you guys want to talk about? We don't need another center. I don't think we need another center either. I think we're in a really good position as far as centers. I think one thing that people kind of do, or that been doing, especially Spurs fans, what we've been doing, we kind of been underestimating Drew. I haven't heard a lot of Spurs fans talk about Drew Eubanks, and you know that's kind of, I don't know, man, that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks because Drew Eubanks is a dude. What are you doing? God, I hate 18-wheelers with a passion. Did you just see him honk at me? Like, what are you doing? You're an 18-wheeler. What are you doing? Jeez. Make way for other people, dude. You're freaking, oh my gosh. Just like, he's just so freaking reckless, man. You honking it. I'm trying to get away from you. You need to honk at every single player. Every single driver trying to get away from him right now. That's what he needs to honk at. But anyway, yeah, center wise, I think we're good with centers, man. I think I think a lot of us are underestimating Drew Eubanks, because Drew Eubanks can play, okay? Drew Eubanks is, and he showed in the bubble, he's a tough man. I really hope, he gets a lot of BS calls. I really hope that once refs get more used to him and they see more of him, and he starts having a bigger role with our team, that he doesn't get a lot of BS calls. Right now, it just seems like it's a lot of calling stuff on him that's just not necessarily fair. Just because he's a tough player, like, he gets a lot of foul calls. And it's not cool, because a lot of times he's not fouling or doing anything crazy. Like that dunk on Giannis' brother, like, how was that even a call? It was just a dunk. Like, what was that? He dunked on him. Like, you can't, I hate reactionary whistles, man. Like, just call it. Like, don't call because of the outcome. If it wasn't a foul, it wasn't a foul. Like, leave it alone. It just drives me crazy. But yeah, with all that being said, what I'm saying is, we're good with centers. Like, more than likely, LA is gonna have to run some centers sometimes. But I think the big thing, the big takeaway to think about is that we didn't have Drew Eubanks really before. Like, he wasn't getting a lot of playing time before. It really was just Jakob and LA, and that was all we had. But now that the Spurs see more of Eubanks and they like him, they gave him his contract. And then we have Jakob, gave him his contract. I think that the Spurs realize they have some really good centers. And Eubanks plays pretty good defense as well. So I think they're cool with it. And not to mention, Eubanks hasn't even reached his potential yet, like by any means. I think Eubanks is a very good scorer around the rim. He has a hook shot that he can really build on. They can figure out what they want to do with that. But overall, Eubanks is awesome, dude, and he's super athletic. And Jakob is super athletic too, that people don't really think about. Jakob can get up there. He's an athletic dude, and he's a really good screener. I would say Drew Eubanks is a decent screener as well. So we have some good centers. Okay, we have two solid centers that didn't cost a lot of money from the team. That really, I mean, they have the type of contracts where they can only outdo their contract. Like, they can't undercut their contract. Like, for instance, like Patty Mills, right? We can look at his contract and we can really decipher each game whether or not he's living up to his contract. But with the type of contract the center's got, no, there's like, it's going to be a bargain no matter what. Like, from what we expect of them, it's good. They can only go like better than their contract. Same with like somebody like DJ. With DJ's contract, I mean, you're not going wrong with that. It's not really a huge risk by any means, and I mean, the odds are that he will outperform that contract no matter what. So yeah, so we're good, man. We're good. I wouldn't worry about centers. We're really good. I don't know about LA as far as what's going to happen with LA. We still have an opportunity to trade. By the way, I don't know when we can trade, because that's been a question that some people ask me, like, when is the deadline on trades? I'm assuming February. I'm assuming it'll be next year. February is when we can't trade anymore. But I don't know, man. I have a feeling if we ain't really traded LA now, we probably just won't. I just don't see it coming. I mean, for what at this point, I mean, before it made sense with the Warriors, but I don't know now. And I feel kind of bad for the Warriors. They're going to be trash for a good while, man. Because Clay ain't coming back. That's just too many injuries. I wouldn't be surprised if Clay plays like one more season maybe and then just retires or something. Because it's starting to get bad. He's really relying on his on his legs. Like, he's so good off ball, getting around screens, and he needs his legs a lot. I mean, every NBA player does, but he's like a Ray Allen. It's like Ray Allen getting an Achilles tear. It's like, that's bad. That's not good. That's not good. But yeah, but like I was saying, overall, I think we'll be fine. I wouldn't worry about our centers. Bro, 18-wheelers are the most annoying drivers alive. They are so annoying. Like, I never seen a driver or 18-wheeler where you're just so freaking big on the road, yet you still drive like you're a Corvette or something. Like, it's very annoying. Gosh, dude. Worst drivers ever. What about the rotations, Clan? I think, I mean, if the Spurs are smart with it, see, this is why I don't want LA on the team right now, because it would be way easier for me to be like, oh yeah, this player. But since he's there, it's like, damn, dude, I don't know. That's rough. honestly, what they'll probably go with is, man, Derek White really needs to start, but whatever. I don't know. I can tell you what they're going to go with. I can tell you exactly what they're going to go with, okay? I'll tell you what they're going to go with. What they're more than likely going to go with, and then I'll tell you what I want. But as far as starters, I think they'll start DeJounte, all right? I think they'll start Lonnie. I think that they'll start DeMar. I think they'll start Trey. And then I think they'll start LA at center. That's what I think they'll do, okay? Or switch up Trey Lyles at center, or LA at power forward. Who knows? But I think that's what they're going to go with, because that's a safe bet. Now, something I would want is somebody like DJ and Dirk White just starting together with DeMar DeRozan, Keldon, and then I guess LA. It's really tough. Actually, it's really tough for me to choose too. Because honestly, I don't want LA on the team, and it'll be easier for me to be like, oh yeah, I want this. But since LA is there, it's always just kind of like, dude, I gotta put him in the starting lineup. And I don't really care for him in the starting lineup with the team we got right now. Like, he's gonna do fine, obviously, but man, that ball just stops. That ball stops. But definitely. I'm trying to be realistic, because obviously LA's going to start. But I guess if we were just saying like all on what's my dream with the players we got right now, it would be Derek White, DeJounte Murray. It'd be Derek White, DeJounte Murray, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon, and Jakob. Like, I think that's a really tough, like, no room to breathe starting lineup. Because honestly, I think that the best thing that we do, like, I think, and I said this last season too, and that was a problem with the Spurs. They never played off their strengths. And that was a big issue with the Spurs last season. We never played off our strengths. It was always freaking trying to be something that we're just not as good as than other teams are. Like, the whole, starting Brent Forrest for an extensive amount of minutes, and just trying to be smart with the shooting. Like what I'm trying to say is trying to have a balanced team. That's what they would do. They were always searching for a balance, okay? And we weren't balanced. Like, what we were good at is going to be lopsided. We were not a balanced team. Like, yes, you have Derek White, who's an overall, all-around player. That's a two-way player. You have Lonnie, who's kind of two-way, but I mean, kind of. But for the most part, no. Like, it's lopsided. What we do best is our defense. So why are we trying our best to make sure Marco can get in? So we can have some threes to open up the court and all this stuff. It's like, dude, we're not balanced, okay? And we're trying to balance, and we're not a balanced team. So, yeah, that was my biggest issue with the Spurs. So this season, I would definitely would much rather us just go off our strengths, which is defense. Which is defense. I mean, honestly, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to go all the way out, okay? Oh, no, that's not true. I wouldn't say that. I was about to say I'll put DeMar on the bench and let him run point guard on the bench. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. You need him in that starting lineup. Bring some attention off the other guys, because he'd be the most consistent scorer you got. I say play off your strengths. And then you got coming off the bench. You have, somebody like Patty Mills, Trey Jones, Lonnie Walker, Devin Vassell, Eubanks. Like, play off your strengths, man. Play off your strengths. If we just embrace the defensive part of the game, we're good, dude. Honestly, we're good. Like, you just have to embrace it. But it never felt like the Spurs wanted to embrace it, It always felt like they wanted to just be balanced and be smart. But we were not in a position to be smart. It really is like, look, it's kind of defense or nothing. Hey, by the way, anybody that's in the chat, if you could give this video a like, that would mean a lot to me. Helps other people see the video, especially with my my video coming up. I definitely want it to at least be seen. So yeah, just give it a like. But yeah, that's what I was trying to say. But yeah, just play off your strengths, man. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but I always noticed that with the Spurs, that they didn't really play off their strengths. Let's see. There we go. Oh, okay. You said Lonnie should run the second unit for sure. For sure. Yeah, Lonnie. That's another thing. Lonnie Walker can be a point. Yeah, he can run point. And I think you're completely right. I think he should be like the sixth man that come off the bench, and he's the primary scorer, primary ball handler, and he'll be perfectly fine with that. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Like Lonnie Walker, he has that in his arsenal, and he's more comfortable with the ball in his hands. And then when you're going out there with somebody like Patty Mills, who can take that pressure off of you if need be, and he'd run point guard if you're, struggling. That's fine. That's fine as well. Because we know Lonnie Walker's not a point guard, but similar to like Manu could run point. Manu actually, I know some people like don't remember that, but Manu Ginobili could run point. He was a pretty good point guard. It's just obviously that's not his main thing, and he would struggle sometimes, But Lonnie Walker is very similar in that regard, where he can run point, especially his playing style. He can get a lot of players open or good shots. Just how dangerous he is around the rim. So I totally agree with that. Lonnie Walker coming off the bench as the point guard it would be a good idea. It wouldn't be bad at all, like by any means. It will be a position that he's comfortable with, a position that we're comfortable with. The players will probably be fine with it. It'd be good. At 2 grand. Ooh. I'm not able to see that yet. Another 18-wheeler. Let me get past them. They suck so bad. He's better than the other dude, man. You guys, when I tell you that dude was willing to drive me off the road, I mean it. That 18-wheeler was willing to drive me off the road. He was such a douchebag. It's like, how do you drive that huge thing and not like at least be cognizant of the other people on the road? Like, how do you just like not care? Like, good Lord, man. And then when I got past him, he honked at me, like, as in I'm too close to him. Like, you slow your ass down. It's not like I don't live in Texas. Like, I know in Texas, when I visit Texas quite a few times, you guys speed limits are ridiculous. All right, it's ridiculous. We don't have speed limits like the highest you're gonna see here is 70, maybe 75 for the most part. 70. I mean, I remember I went to Texas when I went to Dallas, and I was like, damn, it was like 85 miles per hour. I was like, how do you drive this fast all the time? Like, all the time? And it's like, that's not even the fast lane. That's what was confusing. It was like, oh my goodness. It's just normal 85? And it's like, what, like, you could go up to like 95, 100 in the fast lane. Speed limit 75, right? 80 is, wait, what? 80 is toll road. I don't know if any. 85. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm wrong then. I remember I was in, it was Dallas, and I was like, damn, it's fast. Maybe it was this. Maybe it was 80. But when you give the speed, like, come on, we all know this. When you give one speed limit, like, people are gonna drive over that speed limit, okay? So that speed limit being 80, you giving people an incentive to go 85. At least if you have it at 70, people might go, 75 to 80. But if you got it at 80, you're gonna have people in the 90s, man. Like, people are gonna always go over that speed limit. But my point is, 18-wheelers should never have it should never be okay for them to go that fast on the highway, ever. Hey man, I don't know all the roads and the highways in San Antonio or Texas, so I can't. Oh, okay, so there is a speed limit of 85, so I was right. Texas highway. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so I was right, yeah. I thought I saw 85. It was so fast, and the thing is with like y'all see, some people think that I don't know anything about San Antonio because I'm not from San Antonio. You'll be surprised, I know a little bit about San Antonio. One thing in particular that I know about San Antonio is car insurance. So when I went to San Antonio and I get this rental car, I'm on edge, okay? I'm on the highway going 85 miles per hour. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Give me a second. I'm trying to help my cousin get a PlayStation. So I'm gonna try to give him the PlayStation, and then he just pay me back or whatever. So I get a little notification when a PlayStation is available. Obviously, I got a PS5. Okay, obviously, I was on it the other day, like talking to you guys or whatever. But he's trying to get one, and I think he's out at work right now. I was gonna do it when I got home and get on Walmart, and get on there like at 8 o'clock or whatever, and try to do it from there. But as it stands right now, it looks like just some came up for the PlayStation Direct, so I clicked that, and I'm in the queue over there. So hopefully it don't take me out, but I'm in the queue over there. But yeah, okay. So yeah, what I was saying was I also know that people in San Antonio don't have insurance. And I knew that, all right? And then when I had that rental car, I was on edge going 80 miles per hour around a whole bunch of people that didn't have insurance, that more than likely would hit you and then just keep driving. That's scary, bro. That's so scary. So that's just how, I know a little bit about San Antonio. That's one thing I know. So I took the back roads actually. Like when I went to San Antonio, I didn't even stay on the highway because the rental car was a really nice car. And I was like, I just don't want to like risk anything. So I was just taking the back roads everywhere I went. And I have to say, one thing I like about San Antonio is I know I wasn't in the like really bad areas of San Antonio, but I would say this, like certain areas in San Antonio would be considered, like certain areas of San Antonio would be considered really bad in Memphis. Okay, so like one thing I noticed was there's a really great sense of family. People seemed really cool, and even when you got into like rougher areas, it still wasn't. Maybe it's just what I'm accustomed to. I don't know. I never told you guys about like an instance I had in Memphis where I actually got jumped like really bad, to the point where I had like fractured bones and like a broken nose, like all kinds of stuff. It was awful, and it was basically from it was just at a park. I was just at a park with a female friend of mine, and yeah, just got jumped. No reason. It had nothing to do with nothing I did or nothing like that. The whole situation sucked, okay? The whole situation sucked. Everything about it sucked. The police that showed up, they sucked. Everybody sucked, okay? And that wasn't even a bad area necessarily in Memphis. So what I'm saying is, me experiencing that, or experiencing how crazy Memphis can be, going to San Antonio, it was kind of a different perspective looking at it, being there, because it was like, wow, like these areas that look kind of rundown a little bit would be like somewhere you just don't go at all in Memphis. And it wasn't necessarily like that in San Antonio. I really like San Antonio. I really do. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off. Probably not too safe for me to be on the phone while all these stupid 18-wheelers are around me. And I just realized the reason why these 18-wheelers are so aggressive all of a sudden is because I'm closer to Memphis. So, yeah, that's just how it is. When you get to cities, big cities, you get kind of accustomed being like rural parts and just doing your own thing. And then you get here and it's like, oh my God, dude. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get off. I mean, I'm already in the queue for the PlayStation for my cousin. Okay, I have one. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to, that might take an hour, so I'm just gonna let that load. But yeah, I'll get with you guys later. Until next time, deuces. And I keep getting notifications for it too.